Hello everyone, once again welcome in my YouTube channel and today we will study about the robot technology in the subject computer aided manufacturing. For your GTU syllabus it is chapter number 6. So we are going to study about the part 1 of the robot technology. So let us start. So these are the contents. So let us start with the introduction of the robot technology. So the robot word comes from the Swiss word robota, that means a forced labor, and the word was used by first Czechoslovakian Karel Čapek in 1921. So the definition of the robot is, so according to RIA, Robot Institute of America, the definition of the robot is, a robot is a reprogrammable multifunctional manipulator. It is designed to move material, parts, tools, or specialized devices through a variable program motion for performance of the variety of tasks. So this is the introductory part of the robot. If I am talking about the robotic system in more detail, then it is an example of programmable automation and design. It is not like that industrial robots are like the humans as you have seen in the movies, but it is not like a human. It is having some manipulator, actuators, and controller and different parts. And this technology was established before 90 years. Now next we will talk about the generation of the robot. So in the generation of the robot there are basically three types: dumb robot, clever robots, and intelligent robots. So what do you understand by the dumb robots? So dumb robots that will strictly work in a fixed sequence. It is do not having some sensors and it is not having the power for the corrective actions. So we can say that a simple technology robot is known as the dumb robot, like picking and placing type of robot, loading unloading type of robot are known as the dumb robots. Same way in case of the clever robots. So clever robots, that means smart robot. So it is having some sensors, it can take the corrective actions as well as it is capable of the taking the logistic decisions. Okay, so these are the clever robots second generation. And the third generation, that is intelligent robots. So this type of robots are still in the design. Why it is so? Because in this type of robot it is the capable of taking the strategic decision. So we can say that they are still in the design stage, and design is by using the artificial intelligence so that it can take the corrective actions. So here we can say that three types of robot: dumb, clever, and intelligent types of robot. Now, what is the difference between the humans and the robots? So, as we know that in the human anatomy, we are having the different sensors like light, sound, touch, taste, and smell, and it will provide us the vital information in the function to survive. In the human anatomy, these are the different human sensors, while in the robotic anatomy, the different sensors are available, but for measuring the robot configuration as well as the condition, its environment, and accordingly it will sense, and after that it will send some information to robot controller as a electric signal, like arm position will be there, presence of the toxic gas, or we can say that the humidity, temperature, uh, location of the objects. So this type of different sensors are available in the robots. Which are the advantages of the robotic system? So one by one we will discuss. The robotic system will increase the productivity, safety, and efficiency. It will improve the quality and consistency. It can work in the hazardous environment like humidity, temperature, rain, and fire. There will be no need of environmental comfort like air conditioning and humidity condition. So it is advantages for the humans, and it is having some repeatable accuracy and precision. Next, it can perform the multiple tasks simultaneously. Now, what are the limitations of the robot? So, robot replace the human, so there will be economic problems like salary, social problem, dissatisfaction, and unemployment. It is having the lack of capability in emergency conditions, like human can perform the different operations simultaneously as well as the multiple operation it can perform, but it is having the lack of capability in emergency. Next is the robots are having the lack of capability in the degree of freedom, its sensor, its vision system and the real-time response. And the robotic systems are costly due to high initial investment, its installation cost, training and programming cost. As you can see a picture over here, these are the basic picture of a industrial robots. As you can see, it is not looking like a human, but this type of industrial robots are there. Okay, now we will talk about the different parts of the industrial robot. As you can see, this is the base, this is the shoulder, this is the elbow, this is the wrist, and this is the gripper. Okay, now as we can compare with the human anatomy, so here we can say the human shoulder. Okay, our shoulder, so like that the robots are having also a shoulder. Our elbow, so this is the robotic elbow. Our wrist, so this is the robotic wrist, and our fingers, so this is a gripper. So this is a basic look of an industrial robot. Now we will talk about the robotic component one by one. So this is the figure I have drawn from one of the book, and it is very simple to understand. As you can see, the power supply is there, a processor is there of the robot, and this is all is known as a robotic unit. So robotic unit will consisting of the sensors, actuators and effectors. Okay, now we will study about each and every part one by one. First is the end effector. So we can say end effector is the end part of the robot, like in the human anatomy our fingers are there. So it is the end part of the robot. The end effector is connected with the manipulator. What is manipulator, that we will see in our next topic. End effector can perform the variety of the motions and it will grip the jobs. So here in case of the end effector, either the gripper may be used or either the tools may be used to grip the jobs. So end effector is controlled by the controller or personal communication devices like programmable logic controller PLC. So these are the different types of end effector you might have seen in the market or in some of the electronic components. These are the examples of the end effector. Next is the manipulator. So what is manipulator? So manipulator is a robotic arm. Okay, like in human anatomy our arm is there, so in the robotic anatomy it is the robotic arm. So it is the combination of mechanical linkages connected by joints, or we can say it is the combination of link and joints. It can perform the variety of motion like linear and rotary motion. It will get the task through the controller to be performed by the manipulator. Third one is the actuators. So if I am giving you the basic idea of the actuators, then actuators are the muscles, like we are having the muscle power to work with the hand. So same way in the robotic system, the actuators are the muscles. So the actuators are generally the drives that will use to actuate the joints of the manipulator. Okay, so these are the muscles of the manipulator, which are the examples of actuator like servo motor, pneumatic cylinder, hydraulic cylinder. These are the examples of actuators, and it is again the controlled by the controller. So these are the robotic components. One more figure, this is known as the base. 1, 2 and 3, these three are the joints. 1 and 2, these are the links. So joints plus links, it will be the robotic manipulator. And flange, so here you can connect tools or fingers, whatever you need. These are the different types of actuator. Here it is in the figure, it is given in the small size. According to the robot capacity, it can be in the large size. Next is the controller. So controller is a main part, we can say that the heart of the robot. Okay, like heart and mind are taking the decision emotionally as well as the strategic decision in the human anatomy is taken by the heart and mind. So we can say that the mind work is done by the controller in the robotic anatomy. So what is the function of the controller? So it will receives the instruction from the computer and controls the motion. It will store the position and sequence of the manipulator and terminates the motion of the links to the desired sequence and the specified points. Again, it will permit the robot to perform at the different locations. So this is the controller. Okay, this is the example of the controller. You can see it is looking like a central processing unit of a computer, CPU. Next is sensor. So what is the function of the sensor? So the function of the sensor is to sense. So what is the function of sensor? So it will collect the information of manipulator and effector. So which type of information it will collect? So it will collect the information like its instantaneous position, velocity, acceleration. It will send the signal to the controller via analog signal, digital signal, or combination of both. So whatever the position they have obtained, so the temperature, humidity, and other position, velocity, acceleration information will be given to the controller, and accordingly if some changes are there, then it will give. So two types of sensors are there, non-visual sensors and visual sensors. So in case of the non-visual sensors, there will be the position, velocity, and force sensor, and in case of the visual sensors, there are TV cameras. These are the different types of sensors as you can see in the figure over here. Next is the processor. So processor, it is the brain of the robot. It will calculate the joints of the motion. So the mathematical operation as well as some logistic operations are performed by the processor. It's a computer whose function is fixed. And final one is the software for running the robot. So software is having a operating system and the robotic software. So operating system for the computer and the robotic software for operating the robot. Third one is the application program. So for operating at the peripheral devices, out of the periphery of the box, the software is used. Next point, why we need a robot in manufacturing. What are the advantages while we are we can say that replacing the humans over the robots in the manufacturing. So one by one we will discuss. First point, the robots can work in the hazardous work environment. Okay, humans cannot work, but robots can work in the hazardous environment. If the repetitive work cycle is there, then robotic system can work for 24/7. Like humans can work in the shift of 8 hours to 10 hours, but in case of the repetitive work cycle, the robots will work for so many. Next, difficult handling for the humans. Whatever the material handling is difficult for the humans, it can easily be operated by the robotic system. In the multi-shift operation, robot can work as I have told you. Infrequent changeover time. Okay, changeover time, that means a time required for product A to product B. It is very less in case of the robotic system compared to the humans. Next is types of the robot joints. So which are the different types of robot joints available, that we will see. So rotary joint is there, linear joint is there. So rotary joint, it will produce the rotary motion and the actuator use this servo motor. Second, linear joint, it is represented by L and it will produce the linear motion by hydraulic cylinder or pneumatic cylinder, and it will be represented by L. Next is orthogonal joint, it is represented by O. So here the input and output link will move at right angle, so that's why it is known as the orthogonal joint. Next is twisting joint, it is represented by T. So twisting motion between output and input link. And final one is revolving joint, it is represented by V. So output link is spinning about the input link. And now I will show you the figure of this all the types of joints. So here you can see the linear joint, input link, output link. It will having this type of motion, input link, output link, orthogonal joint. So perpendicular to each other, rotational joint. Here a fixed point is there, and input link, output link, it will rotate like this. And twisting joint, so input link, output link, it will twisted at some angle. And final one is revolving joint at the right angle. Next is the degree of freedom of the robot. What do you understand by the degree of freedom? So it is the number of independent parameter moved by a system is known as the degree of freedom. So in the robotic joint, one joint is equal to 1 degree of freedom. So in the robotic system, if the number of joints are more, then number of degree of freedom are also more. So number of joints is equal to number of degree of freedom. So many robots are having the 6 degree of freedom. Degree of freedom for arms. And next is for degree of freedom of arm, there will be 3 types of degree of freedom: vertical, radial, and rotational. Okay, so in the vertical, it may be up, down, and it will cover height. In case of the radial degree of freedom, in and out type of motion, and it will cover area. In case of the rotational degree of freedom, it is having the rotation above the vertical axis and it will covers the angular motion. And second one is the degree of freedom for the wrist. So it may be three types: pitch, yaw and roll. So pitching, that means up and down motion of the wrist, and it will cover the horizontal axis. Second one is yaw. So in the rotational of the horizontal plane about the vertical axis is known as the yaw. And third one is the roll. So rolling about horizontal axis. So these are the 3 degree of freedom for the wrist. I will show you figure. So this you can see that forward and backward, right and left, okay, up and down. So this is the 3 degree of freedom, and 3 more, that is yaw, roll and pitch. So these are the 6 degree of freedom. Okay, thank you very much. I think all of you are come to know about the robotic system and very first lecture of the robotics. Thank you very much. We will meet in the next lecture with types of gripper and some more content regarding your GTU syllabus. Thank you very much.